Well, the number of mergers and acquisitions in 2011 actually was up. Does that mean good things for our economy? Are M&As a bellwether for the economy? Let's talk with a man whose company tracks the numbers. He's Mark Eissman, and he works for the Mergermarket Group. Okay, in a nutshell, what do the numbers show us?
The numbers show that deal value was up in 2011 from 2010, and activity.
To how big? Tens of billions of dollars?
Significantly. Significantly, the actual dollar amounts aren't necessarily as important as the trend, and the trend is that the values were up significantly.
Now, is this true both globally and in the United States?
That is true both globally and the United States.
Who were the big players as far as the banks that were involved? I'm guessing Goldman Sachs had to be there.
Goldman Sachs was number one. JP Morgan would have been number one if the AT&T T-Mobile deal did not crater. You have Barclays, Credit Suisse, a number of.
What about some of the deals, the names that were involved there?
You had the biggest deal of the year that Kinder Morgan and El Paso. You had big deals with Medco and Express Scripts. And of course, what would have been the biggest deal the years I mentioned, AT&T Mobile cratered.
All right, so 2011 looks pretty good. How many years can you compare that to going into the past where it was at that level?
2011, is probably the best year since the economy turned down in 2007 in that area. It's probably the best year, certainly in terms of value it is. And that's probably expected to continue.
Into 2012. So how do you interpret this? Does this necessarily mean that the overall economy is doing well? Is there a separate value you apply to the consumer economy as to the national economy?
Yes, your question implies a good answer. I don't know that it says too much about the consumer economy. In terms of the M&A economy, some people think M&A has a mind all its own and it is somewhat disconnected, but I think it does show a stabilization of the market. I think it shows a stabilization of value. And I think it the numbers also reflect some pent-up M&A demand.
Well, that's interesting. Now, we're probably going to wait for some trigger points to open those floodgates to bring on a lot of M&As. What kinds of things does the market look for that trigger M&A activity?
Yeah, there's multiple triggers. Certainly stock valuation going up can help strategics because their stock is worth more, so they can buy more. Strategics still have a lot of cash, and when they feel comfortable deploying that cash, some of them have record cash, and I think when they feel more comfortable deploying that cash, that will be a trigger. The opening of the credit markets certainly would help private equity. I think we've seen them open in 2011 more, but the middle market still has M&A still has a long way to go, and I think the further opening of credit markets could help that.
Mark with the Mergermarket Group, thanks so much.
Thank you, my pleasure.